Hey everyone, it's Caito, and today we are back playing some more Palworld. Today we are going to be talking about aesthetic base locations. I've had my base in this starter location, and it's really cute. It has a waterfall right next to it. I love the little bridge connecting the two bigger sections of land. But it's time to start branching out, so I've been searching for the most aesthetic locations for your base in Palworld, and I think I found some good ones. I do think that some of these bases are going to offer you resources. Some of them have more protection than others, but if you're looking for something that's going to completely keep out all of the raids, or something that's going to have every material that you could ever need, these might not be the locations for you. But what I can promise you is that these locations are going to be beautiful. And that's what matters, right? All right, we're going to start off with a bang here because this location actually is a spot that's really great for mining, but it is also absolutely stunning. I actually recently moved my second base over here. It's got this huge flat spot with plenty of room for you to put a ton of different stuff. You can build a whole base over here, but it also has these amazing trees and a pond. And then if you walk to the very back of this location, it has so many ore deposits, and you can farm so much iron here. I started out with basically no iron the other day, and after a couple hours, I had about 150 iron ingots. I know that everyone likes to use their bases in different ways. For me personally, I'm going to have different bases that are designated to different things, and this one is beautiful, but also has those mining spots, so I'm definitely going to be using this one as my mining base. I may also add in some different assembly lines and stuff like that later down the line once I get that stuff, but for now, it's going to be focused on mining. But I just love it so much. Now, as we go here, I am going to show y'all the map and the coordinates for all of these different locations. The only issue with this one is I think there may be some higher pals around, so you might have to deal with them coming in and, maybe raiding your base every now and then. But you always have the option to turn your raids off, and on the bright side, your base will look absolutely amazing. All right, next up, we have what I like to call the lavender field. I don't actually know what kind of flower this is, or it might be a weed for all I know. I have no idea, but it's pretty. Look at all of these purple flowers. This section of the map is absolutely stunning. I love it so much. I think if you built a base here and you kind of elevated the foundation a little bit and just had the flowers everywhere underneath it, I think it would be so pretty. The problem with this area is it is kind of right out in the open. You really have no protection, so you would definitely have to build all of that. It does have some different ore deposits, which could be beneficial for mining. It's also right next to water, which I always love. So it has its perks, but again, I promised that this would be about aesthetics and not necessarily about function, so I think it's a good option. All right, this next one, I think I just love it so much because it just feels quaint and inviting. It's just this little tiny section that's kind of tucked into a cliff. For this one specifically, I think it would look really great if you started the foundation of your base kind of coming out of the cliffs. Then you could just have some stairs leading up. You can do a bunch of different levels in here. This is a huge wide open space, and I think it's plenty of room to fit a lot of the different things that you need. Plus, having all of the walls around the back, I do think would actually offer you some protection. So as far as that goes, this may be one of the better options. I also love when you're leaving this base that you have a beautiful view of all of the trees and the mountains. I may eventually move my main base to this location because I love it so much. Okay, the next few locations are actually all in the same area of the map. I think there are just a ton of options over here because there's a ton of flat ground. It all kind of gives off the same vibe, but I still think you have some different opportunities within this section of the map. First off, there's this section that's kind of in the middle of the forest, but it's actually already been cleared out for you, and it just has all of these different berry bushes. I think having that forest background would be really pretty. And you could have the base far enough forward where your logging pals wouldn't actually chop down all of the trees. I don't know about y'all, but I actually don't want my pals to chop down my trees. I know that they're good for resources, but I would rather them just use the logging thing that I give them to use because I just like the way that the trees look. But you could definitely set up the pal box where most of the trees weren't impacted at all, and then you would just have them in the background. And I just think this location is so nice. Now in that same exact section on the map, I just moved a little bit deeper into the forest. There's also a big open clearing within the woods. So if you wanted your base to have grass underneath it instead of the dirt, you could also just move deeper into the forest, and that's an option too in the same exact location. And an added bonus is both of these are right next to the water, and the water over here is so pretty. You could really move around anywhere over here, depending on how close you want to be to the water, how far away you want to be. I'm just telling you that this section on the map has so much flat land to work with, and you should definitely come over here and explore if you haven't already. Now, I don't know if this will ever happen, but one of my biggest hopes for a future update in Palworld is to be able to just expand an existing base. Right now, you can have multiple bases, but they can't be in close proximity to each other. And I'm really hoping that one day we can just expand the ones that we have. And if that happens, I think this section of land would be perfect for that because there are so many different flat areas. And the flat areas that are over here are just so expansive. I think for now, it doesn't make as much sense to have two of your bases really close together unless you're just kind of transporting materials back and forth and you want that to be a little bit more seamless. But because you can fast travel with the PAL boxes, you can really have your bases anywhere and move materials really fast that way. But if the bases ever do expand, I think this would be a really cool area. Okay, and last but not least, I have this island section, which is right next to all of those other ones that I just showed you. And can we just take a moment for these trees? Are you kidding me? This place is gorgeous. There's so much flat land. The trees are amazing. It's completely surrounded by water. The pals over here are super low level from what I've seen. I don't know. I think aesthetically, this one might be my favorite. And I'm thinking once I get my third base, I may have it over here. There's not really many resources on this island, so that is something to consider. But again, if you're just looking for the aesthetics, I think this one is a great option. So those were some of the most aesthetic base locations in Palworld, in my opinion. Let me know if you have your base in a location that I didn't mention that you think I should check out down in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!